Final Fantasy. This is episode 7 of Final Fantasy 1 of the Final Fantasy Errant playthrough. And joining us today is Daniela. Yeah, let me jump into the game. And Daniela, do you want to introduce yourself? Oh, hold on, I gotta turn my volume back on so that the game plays. There we go. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Introduce yourself, Daniela.
Well, I'm Daniela. Gamer tag is either Dari, Dariop, or Darioptic.
I've never heard Darioptic.
Optic, AMTC. That's just like the full gamer tag. Depends on whether Dari or Dariop have been taken. Or if it requires first names, last names, etc.
So hold on, I'm trying to remember in the game, like, how did I get here? Where am I? What am I doing? I'm trying to remember.
I have no idea, because I never got that far. Yeah. Because, yeah, when we got the Game Boy Advance, because I think that's the only one version I played, I, like, just totally got lost at the beginning. I didn't know where I was supposed to go after I leave town. So.
Yeah, like, story-wise, Final Fantasy 1 is not, like, doesn't have the easiest story to follow. Well, I mean, it really doesn't have much of a story at all, but yeah. Tim might disagree. He loves Final Fantasy 1. I don't know why.
So, this is number 1 US release, but, like, number something else Japanese release?
No. So, number 1 was number 1 everywhere. Worldwide. Number 2 was the first one to skip for whatever reason to well, number 2 never came out of the States until like years later. It had to at least been a decade later before it actually came out in the States, I think. And number 2 didn't come out, number 3 didn't come out, and then number 4 came out in the States as Final Fantasy 2. Then 5 came out in Japan, and then 6 came out as Final Fantasy 3 in the US.
Yeah, it's just messy.
Yeah, and so now...
I never know which ones I did play or not.
Now
it's
we're...
all based on how it starts.
Yeah. Well, and also, you know, none of them are connected, so...
Yeah. Final Fantasy, the one that starts in the town. Final Fantasy, the one that starts on the train. Final Fantasy, the one that starts in a stadium.
Well, there's it's funny because I know exactly which Final Fantasies you're talking about.
Yeah.
So the train is 7, right?
Yeah.
The town, well, I guess there's a few that start in the town, so that one's harder, but... Okay, apparently I can...
one that starts on a floating ship somewhere.
Yeah, so I don't, like I said, I have no memory of 2 and 3, and I have a little bit of memory of 5, because 5 is the one with the dragon. That's all I remember about it. And Final Fantasy up to 7 are all the actual fantasy Final Fantasies. You know, traditional fantasy.
Yeah, those are the kind I like.
Yeah.
So I, like, really do want to try and play the earlier ones, because, I played 9. 9 kind of went back to that fantasy-ish.
Did you clear 9?
No, I didn't.
I always get to a part in 9 and I don't know what it is. It's not because it's too hard, it's just because, I don't know, somehow I lose interest or something. I've never gotten past that part.
I didn't clear it because I had to give the game back to my friend.
Oh.
So, I ran out of time. And as a completionist, I really ran out of time.
I really love the intro, like the first few scenes of Final Fantasy 9, though.
Yeah,
it's just something about it.
I actually tried to cosplay Garnet. Like,
oh, that's
White
cool.
Dress version. Yeah, I started working on that costume. Like,
yeah, I love that scene where, like, she... You know, the guy goes to rescue her or whatever, but she's actually basically trying to run away.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love that. I love that. That's one of my favorite Final Fantasy cutscenes, actually.
I never actually ever played 7. I'll just say that up front.
You've never played 7?
I've never played 7.
Wow.
Like
Jared's played 7 though, right?
He started it. I watched
Jared
him start
Jared
it.
Stanziela's partner, husband.
Yeah. I'm very
Well, all the cool kids say partner nowadays, so you know.
my partner. My spouse partner. My significant other. My them.
I'm gonna turn.
Him.
I'm gonna turn down my. Hold on, my mixer volume, so I can hear you a little bit better. Music on this game is really loud.
Yeah, I guess since I'm on the call, I don't really hear it, but I can watch you.
Yeah. Well, if I turn it down, it doesn't change that, but yeah.
Yeah, if I turn the volume on your stream, you're an
Yeah.
echo, so.
Yes, we know, because Tim likes to do it. He thinks it's funny.
Anyway, yeah, so never played 7. I played 8, but I've told you before, I'm very much I enjoy the grind at the beginning of the game to try and level my characters up before moving on, and when my friend told me that it doesn't work with 8, I kind of stopped playing.
Yeah. So I got to the very end level, like literally in 8, and then I never cleared it, and that was like years ago, and they recently remade it, right? And so I wouldn't say I don't think they call it no, I think they do call it a remake, but it's not really a remake. It's just they re-res the graphics or something, and I don't know exactly what they changed, but it's not a remake in the traditional sense of like 7's remake, which is awesome, by the way. I don't know if you would appreciate 7's remake though, having never played the original.
So I never played the original. My friends were really into it, but I was into it as much as I consumed all the extra stuff. So
like cosplay and stuff.
Well, yeah, the whole cosplay thing. But I watched what was it called? There was an animated mini series, mini OVA. It was
Really?
anime style with the Shinra agents or
Shinra,
something like
yeah.
that. Yeah. And kind of the backstories between Cloud and his one friend that I guess doesn't make it. And the whole Tifa before, Tifa after, and then I also watched Advent Children, because I bought that movie, I pre-ordered it, even though I never played the game. That's I could
That's
see all the
interesting.
extra stuff except for the game.
Well, then I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you on it then, because one of the things I always wondered about that movie is, there's a lot of cameos and things, and especially at the end when all the characters come out, that when we watch it, it was wow, this is awesome, because you get to see them in their full 3D glory or whatever. But I was always wondering, if you'd never played the game, would you even what was it like?
First off, it was just cool because it was a CG movie that looked good, because back in the day, the US really just wasn't good at full CG movies.
Yeah.
Right? It was basically just, hey, it's a movie of awesome Final Fantasy cutscenes, and I've always kind of wanted that, because the first Final Fantasy I played was 10, I think. Because I had that Christmas I'd gotten a PlayStation 2.
Right.
The mini in black, the mini black one. But I had gotten it for Christmas without any games. So I had a DVD player for Christmas. And then we traveled to Arizona to visit family for vacation, and at the mall it's okay, what game do I want to buy for this? And I saw Final Fantasy X and X-2, and I'm hey, look, here's a pair of games.
Well, but you could have done much worse.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, those two games are good.
I just remember, before this, I was coming from the 64, right?
Yeah.
I was always a generation behind. or generation and a half or generation, 2 generations behind what was out. And so here I am, like, putting in this game for the first time, coming from the Nintendo 64, which of course I was like amazed at, like the cutscene at the beginning of Majora's Mask. You know, not to like say bad things, but like, you know, what do you call it? The 64 has its place, but like going from like the 64 sort of cutscenes to like actual cutscenes in like Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Especially with like the music in that stadium, I was just like blown away.
Yeah, and let's see. Well, okay, so I remember I was in Taiwan and I bought a PlayStation 2, and I was the same thing. Final Fantasy X is the game I bought with it, and I didn't have any other games. And the beginning sequence of Final Fantasy X, that song and just everything,
Yeah.
it still haunts me. like I hear that music and it's just like nostalgia washes over you, and you're like, wow.
And like you listen to it now, it's like, wow, nobody listens to this very much anymore.
Well,
Was
and
it
I even
Rammstein or was it a different? Because it sounded like Rammstein. I can't remember if it was.
oh, you mean the stadium music where it's like
Yeah.
hard rock or whatever? I don't think it
Yeah,
was.
like-
No, I think it was actually made just for the game. I don't think it
Yeah.
was.
Well, it reminded me of Rammstein. And
Yeah.
So if that's how you pronounce it, I can never.
I don't
It
know.
just reminded me of that, and I'm like, this is awesome, and edgy, and cool.
Yeah, and he's like sitting there in the locker room before the game, like just chilling.
I was more interested in the other guy with his arm tucked in. Oh man,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so long. I can't even remember their names.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I was like, that guy's cool. I
Mysterious.
was kind of went for the mysterious character rather than like the, you know, main character, playboy, whatever.
Yeah, Tim calls him Johnny Stockton for some reason. Yeah, that game is awesome. But I'm surprised that you came back to the earlier Final Fantasies if that was the first one you played.
Well, because it was the first one I really played, but like, I played, I guess, I don't know, maybe it is, I can't remember if it really was the first one I played, because I can't remember when we got the PlayStation 2 versus when they started releasing the Final Fantasies on the Game Boy Advance, because I did play them on the Game Boy Advance.
Before
Never the
10?
mainstream ones. I don't remember. I just remember playing, like, Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh.
That was, like, the big one.
Yeah,
I
see,
really
I don't
got
know
into
why everyone loves that one so much, because I thought it was fun, but it's completely different than the rest of the Final Fantasies.
Well, yeah, I liked it because of the characters, the customization. I thought the Veers were cool,
Yeah.
and just, you know, it was fun. It was, you know, touching on the, like, you know, you've got your fighter, you've got your black mage, red mage, white mage, like, it worked that way, right? And
Right. Yeah, so me and Tim were talking about that in one of the other episodes. Like, I like Final Fantasies where you can't switch, you can't become everything. Because some of them you can basically, like Final Fantasy VI is that way. I know you haven't played it, but you'll have to trust me. Like, you can basically, everyone can become a wizard and everybody can learn all the spells. And like, I just...
I may have started that one. I feel like there was one where you could switch jobs or something.
Yeah, or some of them you can switch jobs and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm okay with this. So like for instance, this one, Final Fantasy 1. Hey, there's a lake. By the way, I don't know why I just walked in this village and started killing everything in it. Are we the baddies?
Never know.
But yeah, like I like, to me, I'd rather be assigned a role and like get into the role and develop the role rather than be like, oh, you can be anything you want. Because if you can be anything you want for every character, then it's like you're nothing.
Yeah, there's no specific character tied to anything.
Yeah. And in this one, you can like, so you start out as I think a warrior or a fighter, and you become a warrior, or vice versa. So you do sort
There's
of like
tiers.
yeah, which I'm fine with that, but yeah.
Is that what they started doing with 16? No, 14.
I don't.
No,
14.
second.
You mean in that's the online one, right?
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah.
Did they do that too? Because
Yeah, you can be anything in that.
I spent most of my Final Fantasy playing 11. Just saying, it was my first MMO. I loved it. Because I mean, I enjoyed 10 and 10 too.
Right.
Not so much 10 too. I didn't get very far on that one.
I didn't get very far on that one either. There are people that swear by 10-2 though. They love it. They're like,
fun.
Is 10-2 the one where you're the girls? You play as the girls?
The girl power, yeah.
Yeah, and then you like change your outfits and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
But there are people that really they're like, hey, don't let it turn you off. Play it for a while, and you can really get into it. So I was like, all right.
Because I finished 10, and so starting this one, I was like, trying to figure out who was who, and like, how is Pain related? Is she related to the what's her name? I don't know. But
by the way, for some reason, this guy that I just walked up and talked to, he turned into 3 desert pedes. He turned into a bunch of. Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I can't remember now, but yeah.
You were talking about girl power in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, the cutscene things were fun, but like at some point it became the modern type, right? At least like 10 kind of stayed like, hey, pre-technology.
That's true. It was fantasy-like.
It was fantasy-like, on the edge. But then like 10-2, I felt like it just became very much more modern fantasy.
Yeah, well, that's
which
what
I'm not a huge fan of.
That's what sort of happened with 7. So I was telling him about that. 7 came out when I was on my mission, and when it came out, I was like, I came back and played it. My friends loaned it to me, and I was like, this is not Final Fantasy. This is like Cyberpunk or something.
Yeah.
And it was a completely different flavor.
Yeah. Yeah, with like, I don't know. So the last one I ever tried playing was 12, I think. That was, yeah, was that the one on
Excuse me.
PlayStation?
Well, 12 was the. Is 12 the MMOR PG?
No, 11 is the MMO.
Okay, so 12. Yeah, 12 is the one with the you would know better what they are, the girls with the Playboy bunnies.
The Vera.
Yes.
Yeah, I started that one and I enjoyed it, but I think I told you before, when I realized that, because as a completionist, when I realized that I missed one of the treasure chests to get like the
you're like, I'm
weapon,
done.
I stopped playing because I like.
Oh, and you couldn't go back.
Yeah, and I couldn't go back. So it'd be like start all over again, or whatever.
That one's pretty fun.
Yeah, that was before I like started working on not being a completionist. So I was very like, nope, not doing this. But like,
I am so lost in this board, and I like have almost no magic left. Well, my Black Wizard has no magic left, and
just have a punch things.
I'm gonna be in trouble in a second. Luckily, these guys don't take off very many hit points.
Oh yeah, you've got plenty hit points.
Yeah, I hear the rumor on the street, and looking at the like art that's coming out and stuff, that Final Fantasy, what are we on? Is it 15 or 16?
I don't know, 15 Exvius extra something. I don't know. They've added so many dash somethings with all like the mobile extras.
No, but this is a numbered. They said this is a new numbered Final Fantasy.
17.
I think it's 16.
16.
Or it's either 15 or 16.
Because the last one was the boy band going around in a car one, isn't it?
Yeah, have you played that one? I'm pretty sure that one is 15, because 14 is the MMOR, right? MMORPG.
XIV.
14,
yes.
Yeah. So 15 was the boy band one, so I'm pretty sure the new one is 16. I love how we call it. I call it the millennial road trip.
See, that, I mean, I know some friends who love it.
I like it. I thought it was
And
really fun. I cleared it.
I like wasn't attracted to it just because of, again, that like modernness to it.
No, I wasn't either, but I played it and it's really fun. You should try
I
it.
think I saw the ending, so somewhere.
Yeah,
like
story-wise,
that
it's
battle.
not my favorite, and especially because it goes for the same, spoiler alert, it goes for the same kind of shock factor that Final Fantasy VII did, which is the ultimate, the ultimate gaming death of all time with Aerith
Eris.
when she dies. It tries to go for the same kind of thing, and it's like, been there, done that type thing.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun. Like, even the road trip part, it was just fun going around, like, hunting and fishing and camping.
Oh, that's what the fishing pole is about. But do you ever get to ride Chocobo?
Yeah, you do. That's cool, too. Yeah.
Because for me it was like, if your main mode of transportation isn't Chocobo or flying airship, like if it's something newer than that, I'm kind of like, eh.
So, and you never get an airship. That's a good point. Like, how can it be Final Fantasy without an airship? I'm trying to think, though. I don't think you ever get an airship. So that's a good point.
Yeah, I enjoyed 11, the online one, the first one, quite a bit, because it had your classic, jobs, and
Right.
you actually looked the part. And to get from place to place, you either had to walk, ride Chocobo, or take like an airship.
So Final Fantasy 11 for me, like I got really excited about it. Hold on a sec. Sorry.
Noodles and Shifan.
Yeah, my experience with Final Fantasy 11 was I bought it like right when it came out, and so you already know that's.
Yeah, because I did that with 14.
And I paid like the monthly fee, or I think no, it came with a free month, and it was fun, but it was just too grindy for me, and like I was really pumped up and excited about it because there'd never really been or at least I'd never played an MMO RPG before that. I don't know if World of Warcraft had come out yet, had it?
It did. Well, actually, I don't know, because I started, I think, when they were up to their like 3rd or 4th expansion. So I started when it was already very well established and everyone knew how to help me out, sort of a thing, rather than no one knows what to do.
In World of Warcraft?
No,
Or Final
in,
Fantasy?
Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and so that's what it was like, well, I knew what to do, but mostly it was like grind, just do this quest, and I don't know, that kind of stuff. Like, that's why I haven't played 14 a whole lot either. I mean, 14's a little bit better because it has a solid story, and you know, it's like follow the storyline and go around and do stuff, or you can grind, or you can like it gives you a lot of choices. So, yeah.
Did you have friends at all though? When you
On the game, no,
Yeah.
I didn't have it.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I had friends, but not in the game.
Yeah. Definitely, the MMO works a lot better when you have friends in it.
Yeah, I can see that. It'd be
Yeah,
fun to
I
do it with other
started-
people.
Somewhat, well, I'll just say, my ex got it for me the first time, and so it was nice to have like someone kind of guide me through the beginning, and then I started making more friends online.
And that's how he became your ex.
Well, long story, but
No, I know. I'm just giving you
No.
a hard time.
nah. Like you play, right, and then you find people and they help you out, and it got really fun too because
Yeah, I mean, it could be
joined the guild and
yeah.
people help out because I focused on being red mage. I definitely like being kind of
Wow.
the flexible support with
You know, that's what I really like about the MMORPGs is they made the Red Mage an actual like feasible good character. The problem with the Red Mage in most Final Fantasies, like this one for instance, is at a certain point, like in the beginning levels, they're awesome, but at a certain point they become sort of like redundant. And at least the MMORPG Final Fantasies made Red Mages an actual thing always. Like, no matter how high of a level you got, they were still useful and important. Or am I wrong?
Well, I don't know how it works with 14, because I played 14 when it came off, like off the shelves, like right off the bat. So, yeah, the beginning...
Oh, back the dark years of 14.
Yeah, before it got rebooted.
Before the company itself admitted that it was terrible and like they redid it.
I had a free month, and then the next month they're like, "Oh, it's still going to be free," and then the month after that, it's still going to be free, and it was free for quite a long time.
Yeah, you can get it. I think you can get it free for right now, up to like level 60 or something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, back then before they did the
right.
And I couldn't find a Red Mage equivalent. In it, so it was a little kind of sad. I think they did like the Thaumaturge or something like that, something along the lines of a Black Mage, hoping that eventually it turns into a Red Mage.
So hold on, I just barely walked up to a guy and said hello to him, and he turns into these desert peats. Plus, he says that I was ambushed. How can I be ambushed if I walked up to him? All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in this game yet. But like, I enjoyed playing as a Red Mage in 11 just because, well, one, the outfit's cool. You got this sort of like, I don't know, almost Three Musketeers, all red sort of look to it. Cool hat and everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what it looks like. I can't remember, but yeah. I vaguely have a
cool.
picture
If
in
you
my
look
mind.
it up, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like the other reason is I like being able to be flexible and to solo when I need to. So that's what made the Red Mage very versatile, because you can melee well enough, you can heal yourself, and then you can cast other kinds of magic and buff yourself and things like that. So you can very much solo the game if you want, but when you join groups, you could like fill in the space they needed. So they would have a, you know, the paladin tank, and they would have a white mage and a black mage, and once the white mage's MP ran out, they had to wait for it, you know, to bring it back up. So I would take the white mage role and I would, you know, be curing people. And then once the tank needed to step away so that the white mage could heal, I'd go in, do some attacks before, you know, stepping back once the tank got up front. So it was a very fun, active, and flexible role. So I always felt like Red Mages were just very well liked in most of the groups. They always kind of welcome them.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't be you know, you can't cast white magic as strong as a white mage. You can't cast black magic as strong as a black mage.
Right.
You can't melee like a paladin or a monk, but
right.
You know, it's fun.
Yeah,
you
I feel like
solo things with it though if you time it just right.
I think I got up to like level probably around 25 or something. I may have been pushing 30, and I was really enjoying it when I played it. The only reason I really dropped out is because I don't know. I started playing another game or something. That's the thing about, like, eventually I'll probably, I mean, we're doing a playthrough of all the numbered Final Fantasies from 1, starting with this, all the way to 10 is our goal. Eventually we'll probably have to do like 10 through 16. But yeah, about 16, the thing I want to talk about at 16 is it's supposed to go back to the its fantasy roots.
The classic
class
system.
And looking from the pictures, it looks like it will. It looks pretty awesome, but we'll see.
I hope so.
But even if it doesn't, like, I just can't say enough good things about Final Fantasy VII Remake. But again, like I said, I don't know. Like, I almost feel like saying, Daniela, don't play the remake. Go play the original
blocky one.
Yeah.
The squint at.
Yeah, but I don't know if you have the patience for that kind of thing.
Probably not. I mean, I'm like we were saying earlier. I consumed all the like extra media around 7 just so that I could stay in the loop with my friends who did play it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I knew what the characters looked like, what their names were. I think I even watched like an entire walkthrough, kind of basic of just the story.
Oh yeah, I totally didn't even think, like, when I told you that Errant dies. I hope you already knew that.
I've seen the scene. I've seen the scene. It's very awkward in the the PlayStation
With the-
graphics.
Yeah. Well, but back in the day, those graphics were awesome
yeah.
to us. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
so
I was
did-
excited
did
for
enjoy
it.
the remake.
I was excited for it because, like, I was used to playing pixel art Final Fantasies all through high school, and then 7 came out. It was 3D, and the art was just, it was amazing back then. But yeah, by today's standards, it's not. And as I've gone back, like even loving Final Fantasy 7, I have a hard time playing the I can't play the old one. I don't know that it's aged well, I guess.
You know, now that I think about it, I think one of the only reasons I ever started playing Final Fantasy is because I played Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
'Cause
Chrono
back
Trigger
when
was
it
fun.
Like, back when it was Squaresoft, it was the only RPG in my brother's games, and I was good at them.
Well, he could have done
As
worse.
opposed to, like, yeah, well, I played it, I was good, and that was back when they were called like Squaresoft, right?
Yeah. So,
And, yeah.
couple things. First, this is the first Final Fantasy where I'm going to use an antidote instead of using a spell to heal myself, because this Final Fantasy doesn't give you as much magic to deal with. But usually, the strategy that at least I stick with is save your items for when you don't have magic, right?
Yeah, that's what I do too.
So I'm always like saving my items, but in this one, I don't know. Stupid spiders if they quit poisoning me. But yeah. What were we talking about?
Chrono Trigger being Squaresoft, and then I noticed that like, hey, this game is also by Squaresoft.
Yeah, so in our introduction episode to this, we talked about that a little. Like, according to the Wikipedia article, originally it was called Square, actually, but they say that in their video game section of Square, that it was called Squaresoft, maybe for like software, I guess. But I never knew that. I always because I only ever saw Square as a video game company. I don't know what else they did. I mean, they did some movies later on, but
I was confused when I read Square Enix or something like that.
Well, that was because they used to be like, you know the story behind that, right?
I felt like I read it somewhere, but I completely forgot.
So, because it was probably before your time. You're a lot younger than me. But so Square and Enix were two separate companies. Enix is the one that made the Dragon Warrior series.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so they were competitors for the longest time. So it's sort of like a Sonic Mario type thing. And then eventually, yeah, Square just bought out the company, and it became Square Enix. Isn't that what it's called nowadays?
Squeenix. I've heard it called. Especially when you have your boy band types.
Yeah.
Games.
So yeah, that's what happened. Which is funny, because actually the first Dragon Warrior came out before the first Final Fantasy, which I did not know. But Final Fantasy did better, from what I understand. I've played both. I played the first Dragon Warrior, and it's pretty fun. I like it. I can never really get into Dragon Warrior, though. Okay, I'm hoping that this treasure chest does something. Or did I just go in a giant circle? Or I mean
It's
this
more like a
graveyard.
gravestone.
Or gravestone, yeah. It doesn't do anything. Great.
If you check from behind, does it do anything?
No, I tried that.
Oh.
Still nothing. But something's got to break soon or I'm going to be in trouble. Because my guys are starting to run low on the magic. So, yeah. Wow, we could probably talk about Final Fantasy forever. But this version that I'm playing right now is the PSP version, which is a little bit, has a lot of things similar to the Game Boy version.
Yeah, they look like the ones a little bit.
Oh, look, a stairwell. Wait, is this...
Yeah.
Did I just go in a circle?
Oh, you're underground.
No, I haven't been here. Treasures. Holy cow, man. These levels are long, though. So Final Fantasy 1's claim to fame, and this is what Tim's challenge is. He offered his kids like $50 or something if they could clear it, the original. And the original is pretty tough. Like it's really grindy. So you might like it if you, because I think you like the grindy games, right?
I like grinding at the beginning of the game so that I can like spend the following day doing like story stuff without
cruising
having to
through
stop. Yeah.
Red Fang. I hope that's a new sword I can use.
I think that's
Nope.
an item.
Yeah.
It's just an item.
What does it do? This is the other thing is...
Something, right?
Oh, there it is, Red Fang. Oh, it's one of those items that cast spells that I never use. In fact, speaking of tactics, I think tactics is the first time I've ever used an item to cast spells. Yeah. Is tactics the one that starts out where you're riding chocobos and it has like the bagpipes playing?
Oh man, I don't remember.
I think it is, and that's like one of the most epic like opening cutscenes of all Final Fantasy games.
So I actually didn't play Tactics. I played Tactics Advance on the Game Boy Advance. So I don't know how different that one is. If it was a reboot. Oh, this looks interesting.
Well, but here's the thing: as a completionist, would you talk to this flame first, or would you go around? Because I feel like this is the.
I would go around.
Yeah.
Talk and check all the other rooms first.
Yeah, because that looks like, oh man, but these levels, man, they go all over the place. That's the thing about Final Fantasy 1. It's got some pretty intense level design. And I'm thinking, no, it looks like there's multiple flames, so you gotta like talk to all of them.
That one has a chest though.
Yeah. Wow. And I really need like a place to save. Hopefully I can defeat it with just... Oh man. I might be in trouble. I need to find an overworld so I can use my tent or whatever. Yeah,
Can you run in this one?
the problem is she's got all the magic that's left. I wonder if I have an ether. Oh, I do. But not very many. Well, man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
You can buy more, can't you?
Now watch, I'll my... Oh, insta-death.
No.
Oh man, like... What am I gonna do?
When was the last time you saved?
Oh, I saved right a little while ago, so I'm not too scared about that, but I'm more scared about like once you die in this, the only thing gotta sneeze. Oh. Excuse me. The only way you can heal in this Final Fantasy is using either Phoenix Down. Oh, I got a bunch of Phoenix Downs. What am I worried about? Or go and talk to the priest in the chapel.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that. You have to like walk with your dead person or knocked out person like everywhere.
Man, and I'm not... Even my wizard's not doing very much magic damage, though. It's almost not worth it.
Can you run, or is this one where you can't?
I'm pretty sure you can. If you go down, flee, you can flee.
But at that point, like, you've used up so many items, I would rather die and get my items
Oh my
back.
gosh. Yeah. I'm not gonna... This is my first time I'm gonna die in this. Yeah, that was a little OP.
Wait, did you name him? Oh, I see names.
Oh, shoot. Well, I gotta find a way out of this place. Because there's no way I'm gonna beat that enemy. See, Tim, this is hard, wherever you are. Actually, we should check to see if Tim's available. See if he's been trying to call us. Where's my Facebook Messenger? Because I can't hear his...
Oh, right, you died, and if you, like, get knocked out, you start at ones. The beginning of dungeon, start at 1.
Let me ask him if he's available now. We'll give him a second to reply. Oops. Where's my game? Where's my game? Oh man. Why do I only have 1 hit point? What happened?
Well, because you got knocked out, so it throws you back at the beginning of the dungeon.
Oh, but it doesn't actually, like, load your save?
Well, I think you have to, like, exit the game and load your save.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, because look, I still have a little bit of magic left because I used that ether. Interesting. So the question, yeah, it's not worth it. I should just just load my save because I was further in the game anyway. So, although experience-wise, let me see how much experience I get from these guys. Even then, it's still not worth it. I used up that ether and Phoenix down and everything.
Yeah, I tend to item hoard. Whenever you have like items that perma boost any of your stats, I never use them. I wait till the very end.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Because I don't know if a character will naturally just max
Yeah.
out certain stats.
And you don't wanna...
waste on that.
Yeah. It's a good point. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that, like, what's the word? I'll have to think of it. How do I reset?
Load state.
But this is just, settings? System? No.
Exit to menu and then
Oh,
start
yeah,
again.
yeah. That's probably right. Here we go. See? I'm glad you're on here, Daniela. Something management, item management, or resource management. That's the word I'm looking for. Resource management in this game is actually really good compared to some of the other Final Fantasies. See, I started here, and now I should have... Yeah. Yeah, I don't have my magic back and everything, so... Well, I'm not going to that blue fame. But... Maybe if I jump into that, it'll, like...
So you are in the Earth Shrine right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Man, seems like awful hard enemies, though. Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, I'm gonna get worked. Should have went up the middle path. I wonder if I'm gonna have to backtrack all the way. That's the thing about this one, it's hard. Although up to this point it hasn't been this hard. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cast a spell. So I'm gonna need that ether back. The other thing about this one is it doesn't have the active time system where... Oh man, yeah. I'm getting my butt kicked. I ain't gonna win this fight.
Maybe you should wait on going to the Earth Shrine and go grind in the field somewhere.
Well, but the thing is it won't do me any good to grind because I can't get my magic back and stuff because I can't like use tints and all that jazz.
We'll like go all the way back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I might have to do that. And this Final Fantasy, the original, does that a lot. Well, there goes my magic. It seems like once I use magic once, though, the beast gets weaker to my sword. And then he wipes me out with his spells.
I was gonna say, what do you not have like an item or an ability that like shows you their stats, the enemy stats?
No, not in this one. Not that I know of.
What do they call it in the other games? Like the item.
That's a good question. It's a spell or an item.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. Quit asking hard questions, Daniela. Libra.
Tim needs to join. Yeah.
Libra.
Basically means
Oh yeah,
book.
let's see if Tim wants to join. Nope. He gave up on us and not paying attention. I'll ping him in a little while.
He might be asleep now.
Yeah, that's true. That does mean book. Well, libro is book in Spanish, right?
Libra, book in Latin.
Is it? Load. No, this is the wrong place. I loaded the wrong save. So it's trying to be helpful by putting you back in the beginning so you don't have to use your save, but in this case, it's not helpful.
It's liber in Latin, I think.
Alright, come on. Nothing. Great. Well, let's try this right one that I never went up to.
Oh.
Maybe this is the enemy I was supposed to fight.
No, you're not gonna make it.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Danielle. You're like, yeah, you don't stand a chance. Well, let's see. Haven't given up yet.
Do fire damage if you can.
I'll see, we're hitting them a little bit stronger. At least my warriors are. Death does not sound good, though. Insta-death. Ah, he missed. But yeah, I have no idea how many hit points he has. Throw a little fire on him. Or she. I can't tell what it is. I think that is actually a she.
Echidna? That's not what they look like. With knuckles.
Yeah, the
Knuckles and echidna?
is that a Spanish word?
Echidna?
Yeah.
It's the name of an animal.
No, is it?
Yeah. Like a hedgehog,
No.
but like with a long nose.
Interesting.
Knuckles, you know, Sonic's
Yeah,
friend,
look,
Knuckles is an echidna.
He went strong all of a sudden. Maybe I think you have to like cast magic on them and then they get weaker. I don't know. Just now let me attack and see what happens. Nope. Weird. Although this one seems a lot more manageable than the other ones. Hopefully we'll beat it and we'll go in that hole and it'll be like an overworld place where I can do something.
How
There goes
much
all my
health do you
ethers.
want on the enemy?
Yeah.
I just looked it up. I don't think you're gonna do it very well.
Oh,
Do you wanna know? Do you wanna know its HP?
nah.
Nah. Okay.
See, I'm the kind of guy that just like I gotta do it on my own, or I don't feel accomplished. Although this one, like, it does come with a strategy guide, and Tim was saying like you have to have the strategy guide, otherwise you're just gonna grind forever. Cause, well, yeah, I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not with a white wizard. Well, that's crazy. No. Well, we can keep doing this forever. Nope. Well, I guess it's good I'm streaming this. Otherwise, I probably would have given up a long time ago. And stopped playing the game forever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't do the Earth Shrine enemies right now at your level.
Well, how in the heavens did I get here then? And what am I doing? I'm trying to think back. So, oh, they opened. So the one dwarf opened up, and I went into the. No, I can't remember.
Ghost South.
Well, I'm thinking what I might be able to do is find something else in the Earth Shrine that isn't enemies. Like go around.
Okay.
Wait, is that a... Did I see a stairwell up there? No. Well. It's not... I get the feeling I'm gonna have to slowly kill every single one of these, like, creatures for some reason. Did I miss a village, or...
Probably.
So we already went
I
up to
like,
that
the
one.
beginning of this one, I was just like confused on where to go.
Yeah, this one definitely doesn't hold your hand like most of the Final Fantasies do. Nope. It looks
I
like...
think you just have to go back. This is...
Obviously, I'm not at a high enough level to beat this. The problem is I gotta go all the way back. Oh, I can't go back either. What the heck?
Well, where you load, you haven't gotten to there yet. So definitely don't go...
Right, and then when
go
you
south.
die, it takes you back there too, right? So yeah. Let's do that. Otherwise, I'm not gonna... I'll have to start the entire game over. It's gonna be the longest stream ever.
That was like one of the scary things about some of the earlier games is you'd get to a point and you can't go back and you're accidentally way too underleveled.
There's no way back. Only forward. I do have...
Use all your items.
Oh no, I don't have that teleport spell because I didn't... I wanted it, but I can't.
An item though? There's an item, like a rope or something? I don't know, or is that Pokemon?
Secret of Mana has the rope that gets you out of the level. What the heck, man? Spider silk, what does that do? No. There's no way that the only way out is by... There's gotta be a catch somewhere. It's like I gotta beat one of these guys in order to I need Tim's adventure guide. Well, let's consult it and see what it says. So I'll show you this
Earth Gift Shrine.
see if I still have it. The original, maybe I never actually downloaded it. Final Fantasy Origins, that's the game. Where's the... I'll have to look it up online. So it comes with a manual, the original game, and it's like, it's basically a strategy guide. I think it's called the Adventure Guide. Final Fantasy 1 Adventure Guide. But it looks like that. See if it has its title on it. Includes Explorer's Handbook. That's what it's called. Final Fantasy 1. See, this is where we need Tim, because he was reading in the Explorer's Handbook.
I think you do have to die.
Final Fantasy 1 Explorer Handbook. That's part of the story?
No. As the only way you can get out, I think.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because did it start... But didn't it start me right next to the... No, it didn't.
It started you, like, by those... Oh, no. It started you somewhere different. Not by the treasure chest. Oh, I think I remember that book.
Well, let me try that. I'll try to die, and then I'll die... But we should die fighting an enemy we haven't fought before. Which I think is the one on the upper left corner, right?
The upper one had the treasure chest. And that was the eye thing.
Oh, yeah. Let's try this one. I don't think I fought this one. Two-headed dragon. No problem. I think I'm not going to use any spells. Yeah. And I can also... I have a fast forward button. Which is always helpful in grinding Final Fantasies. Yeah, we're like doing 0 damage to him. And he wipes us out. One by one. Oh, yeah. I'm outside. Good call, Daniela. Oh, I'm like way outside. Oh, so when I go in, I don't even have to go... Okay, okay. I know where I'm at then. I wasn't that far away. Okay. Yeah, in fact, I'm even actually really close to the world's cheapest inn. Yeah, I see. I have no... I wonder if I can use heal. I can. Heal, heal! Yay! And now she's out of magic. That's alright.
Go to an inn.
There's really easy enemies out here. Yeah. Brink. See, this is when that fast forward button comes in handy. The other thing I don't like about the newer Final Fantasies as much is they don't have an overworld. And I know that they do that because they're like, oh, it'll be more immersive without the overworld because it'll be just like real life. But I like the abstraction of, you know, having the feeling that there's this giant world. And when you're just walking like normal, it doesn't feel as giant to me.
I mean, they can make it feel big because the whole open world concept. But...
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Like Zelda felt pretty giant, the newest one.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. You've played that, right?
Yeah, that's another one where I like tried to max out all my items before even beating the first boss.
And you can do it on that one.
Mountain.
Have you completed that game?
No, I'm on the final fight. Except I wanted to try and get all of the Koroks, so
Yeah, so that
zigzagging everywhere.
that game has got to be like a completionist nightmare, or I don't know, dream world.
Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it.
I had more than half the Koroks. Like, I had my item menus maxed out before I even got to the first boss. Like, I could hold everything.
Yeah, if you can complete that game, that's impressive. I tried to, just because it's such a fun game to play. But yeah.
You're gonna go in again?
Well, I don't. This is what I gotta do.
Did you save?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Is it gonna have chests every time there, or is no? Yeah, because I already got those chests, right?
So maybe you need to use that
Oh,
spider
man.
silk or something.
So it did start me over in the beginning, though. So I gotta walk all the way back. You know what? I don't think this is the actual. Is this where I'm supposed to go in the story, though? I'm wondering if.
How many clues do you want?
Don't tell me, because I know who I can go and ask. I'll just grind through it again. But I'm going to fast forward. I don't have the patience for that. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll get a bunch of level ups, right?
Yeah, experience.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the more grindy games, though.
Isn't it like all 4 of them are orphans or something?
Are they orphans? They're the warriors of light. That's all I know.
But they were all like orphans at the beginning, and then
Were they?
became the chosen ones or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it was.
Is that? No, I think that's is that 2? I wonder if that's 2.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe I am thinking too.
Because I vaguely do remember like 4 orphans, and for some reason I don't think it's this one, but maybe I'm wrong. Tim would know. This is his favorite game of all time, and he knows everything about it, everything there is to know. Yeah. So you have you even seen Final Fantasy Remake?
I've seen cutscenes and bits and pieces.
Yeah,
When
you'll
they first announced it, and then they took forever.
you will love that game. But this is what I recommend. I recommend you don't get it until all 3 of them are out. Because I made the mistake of getting addicted to the first one, and now I'm like, come on, you guys gotta come out with the next one.
So they're releasing them in parts?
Yeah.
Oh.
There might. They say there'll be at least 3 parts, but there might be even more.
Are they still charging full price for each part?
I think so, yeah. But I mean, it really is really is like a full game though. Like it's not like it's not worth your money.
Yeah, well, it's 3 times your money.
Yeah, but it's like the content in it is enough for a full game though. I think it took me 50 hours to clear before I did. I mean, it took me a lot more than that because that's the only game that I've got like everything in. So I'm not a completionist like you. And I'm wandering through this desert. And I can't remember where to go. So this game is starting to frustrate me.
I think that's one of those like endless deserts, and that tree is actually the same tree.
Yeah, it is. I thought I walk right, but yeah, I can't remember.
You walk right a little bit, and then you just start walking north.
And I hate it when they poison me. Should probably heal up. Nah, I'm alright. Maybe you have to walk in all directions at least once. Yeah, and originally this game had like these enemies that did exactly what that one did with death, where they just insta-kill you and there's nothing you can do about it, and it was so frustrating. So you learn to just run from them. I wish I had a fast forward that wasn't as fast as the one I have.
It's called pushing the A button.
Oh, wait. There's 3 trees. That's promising.
Yeah.
I think this is just a looping world and I have to find the oasis. Because there's an oasis. Okay, so maybe those trees are pointing in the direction I should go.
Yeah, to the right now.
And they poisoned me. The good thing about this is I think they actually give you antidotes if you beat them. Nope. Here we go again.
Wait, is your one character a thief?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Does he not have a steal thing?
No, he doesn't.
Oh.
Funny you should ask.
Great thief.
We were talking about that. The other thing is the thief, like the original game, there was a lot of errors, like bugs in it. And so the thief, the things it was good at didn't actually work. So it was basically useless to have a thief. That was a wandering black goblin. Okay. Oh wait, look. Yeah, I think it is like pointing in a direction. Right? Because the other arrows were...
Down.
See, we're brilliant problem solvers. So here's a question for you, Dari. When you play Final Fantasies, when you get stuck, do you consult the internet? Or do you push on through and try to solve the puzzles yourself?
I usually buy the guidebook when I buy the game, like the official one.
So you don't even mess around.
Well, as a completionist, I need at least the menu list in the guidebook. Or the item lists.
Yeah.
Equipment lists. No, I usually try figuring it out, and then once I get like too frustrated, then I'll maybe consult the book.
See, and that's my problem is I'm like so stubborn that I refuse to like use any kind of strategy guide, and so what usually happens is I get so frustrated that I just don't play the game anymore. I quit the game before consulting the strategy guide. So your way is probably better. Because at least you finished the game.
Kinda. I was good through the last enemy, but never actually beat the last enemy. I max out my weapons, I max out my items, I max out my levels, I max out my stats, you know, but then I never beat the last boss.
I don't know if our arrow theory is correct because now I'm going in circles again. Maybe it's you gotta go in the opposite direction of the arrow.
And you're definitely gonna go back. No, wait. Wait, so is the next one gonna go up?
It looks like it is.
Then maybe there's a center.
Yeah, this one's going up, so maybe I was right.
If the next one goes left, then it is a circle.
Should I get distracted by that one or should I ignore it?
Wait.
Funny thing is I've already cleared this game, which is why I'm not playing the actual original. Because I wanted to try this one with like the new... Okay, now it's telling me go that way. So maybe I am going in circles. Oh, no, there's a treasure chest. That's promising. White Fang, didn't I already have that?
Yeah, this one would have gone down if you were going in circles.
Oh, White Fang's not a... White Fang's an item. There we go. Oh, shoot. We made it. I wish I could drink out of that fountain. Okay. So now I know why I'm here and how I got here. But here's the thing. Do I want to fight all the way through to those enemies just to die again?
No.
I don't know what else to do besides start over. That's okay. I have the fast forward button this time. So, again, what Final Fantasies have you played? You played 10 and 10-2.
11 the most, 12 a little bit, and then I gave up. I never did 13. I started the beginning of 14, but it was like extra buggy, and then I had like college papers and finals to work on, and so I never got further in that one.
And you haven't played 15.
Nope.
You haven't played my favorite either, which
I haven't
is
played 7.
no,
8,
7's not
9.
my favorite.
Oh, not your favorite.
I love 7 and I love the remake, but my favorite is actually in the US it was Final Fantasy 2, but it is Final Fantasy 4.
Is that the one with the opera? I know there's one with the
No, that's 6.
Okay.
And I love
Some
that
people
one
love
too,
that
but
one.
in order, my favorite Final Fantasies are 4, 6, and then 7 remake.
So I played the orphan one, but I never got very far in it.
Yeah, now I'm really curious which one that is. I'm definitely gonna have to ask Tim if.
I could just like YouTube opening of each one.
Yeah, because it's gonna drive me crazy. But I swear this one is not the orphan one. But there is one that is an orphan one. I swear there is.
They redid Final Fantasy 2, didn't they? And like fanciness, or at least with fancy cutscenes.
So this one came on the PlayStation as Origins, and it came with Final Fantasy 1 and 2. And I think, yeah, they added cutscenes to both, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't recognize 2.
Yeah, I can't remember anything about 2 is the thing. We were talking about that the other day.
It looked like the opening cutscene was some like battle something, lady with fire.
I never played it on PlayStation. I think I played Final Fantasy 2, actually, the Japanese version. Somebody made some fan subs. Because once we found out that Final Fantasy, like, 2 wasn't 2 and 3 wasn't 3, then anyone who had an emulator was like, well, let's go on and find out what the real game was like, type thing. Let's see if Tim is on. If not, he's probably not going to join tonight. Because we only have 45 minutes left.
I played Final Fantasy 3 on the 3D remake.
Yeah,
That's
he's
the
not
orphan
gonna.
one.
See, I knew it wasn't this, but that it was one of them.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 3 is the orphan one.
Orphans.
Nintendo DS. Say I started that one. I didn't get very far.
5 is actually pretty famous. A lot of people like 5. Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, what level am I? Okay, so I'm 25. I'm not. I haven't.
Want to know if this is what you're supposed to be doing?
No, because I know how to find out. Don't give away, Dari. I get the feeling it's not, though. I get the feeling. Well, there's a lot of places I haven't really explored on the overworld that I need to explore. And in this Final Fantasy, I think that there's some extra levels that it adds that aren't in the original. And I'm wondering if this is one of them. What do you mean as in yes or no, don't tell me.
I'm not telling you.
So have you ever played like the multiplayer Final Fantasies like that they came out with Nintendo?
Yeah.
Like Crystal,
Yeah,
is it Crystal Chronicles or?
Yes, my friends and I were very much into Crystal Chronicles. Like, the GameCube was the one where I made sure I had 4 Game Boy Advances and had the extra cables just to play that game.
Yeah,
I loved that opening scene. And
it became like a really like a logistics nightmare to like do all that, but it was fun.
Yeah, me and two of my friends, we were just all about it. We actually tried to work on cosplay for that one. I actually started building a crystal chalice, replica.
Nice.
But never got very far.
Yeah, you know what? I don't see a lot of outside of Cloud. I would say outside of Final Fantasy VII, you don't see a lot of like cosplay at least our FanX.
A lot of people showed up with as Lightning for a while. From
Did they?
That one? 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a couple of her around at cons back in the day.
Huh. Yeah, that one I really liked the battle system. In what is that one? 14, 15? No, that's 13, right?
13. Yeah. I don't know. Like I think I did the beginning fight for that one, and it was one of those. This is all sci-fi.
Yeah.
Again, and I just kind of was like, "Oh,
not your
what
thing."
What class are you? I can't tell. You cast lightning, I guess, but zap things. And just,
That one's okay. So I played that one actually in Japanese because it came out, and I was like, I'm not waiting for the translation. I was a big Final Fantasy fan. So I went online, someone had already translated it, like a fan had already translated it. So I was trying to follow the story and like it was almost impossible. And I started playing it through English and I discovered that in English it's almost as hard to understand what's going on as just using that fan translation. Like that game in general, the story is like over your head.
Yeah, I was very confused. Starting it, I was just like, oh, also like one of the things like with the newer ones is see how like in this one you can see your path and you know where to go because it's like, oh, these enemies that are blocking my path, that's probably the way that I'm supposed to go. Whereas like in the 3D just newer ones, it's kind of like vague and it's harder to see somehow.
Yeah, that's true. I know what you're saying. And there's nothing more frustrating in a game than having no idea where you're supposed to go next and what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And when they like have this like sort of sneaky in the background of random like hidden room, like I have to walk into every single wall sometimes and just like find the secret things. Completionist me needs to find all the secret rooms.
See, that's what that's what I really appreciated about Final Fantasy VII Remake is I didn't need a strategy guide, and I got the what is it called? The Platinum, which means you completed basically everything on the PlayStation. But I didn't need a strategy guide because, for one thing, all of the trophies they basically tell you what you need to do. And I think that's the way all games should be. Like, I get the whole secret thing, and you can still find secrets. And what I like is games that tell you, hey, there's a secret. This is what you're looking for. And this is, like, how you'll find it, like, in the area. It's in this area, so look for it here, you know.
Mm-hmm. Where the game guide is part of the game.
Yeah. Alright, and we're back. Ooh, silver. So what the heck is a silver apple? That sounds promising. Yeah, it raises HP by 5. This is the this is what you were talking about.
Yeah, I never use them.
You know what I do? I always go and I look and see who has the least HP, and I just give it to that person. Which in this case would be the Black Mage.
I tried doing that once, but then I realized sometimes when they level up, they actually will max out that stat when they max out their level. And then other characters might not max out that stat when they reach their max level. And so that's when I'm like, I'll just reach max level and then see who needs it. Because obviously you can't get past max level.
Gotcha. Doink. Sorry, got distracted there. So I take that back. In Final Fantasy, there's actually a couple. You get the platinum medal, and there's a couple things you don't have to do, and you can still get the platinum. Okay, does this place look familiar?
I was gonna say, don't go down the stairs if you haven't explored the rest of the area for more items.
Well, I've already explored all of this. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
The previous level.
The completionist in you is
yeah,
the completionist alarms went off.
There could be a key item back there, you know.
Well, this is the one.
With, like Chrono Trigger when I first played it back in elementary school. Like my brother could not beat that dragon, but like me being completionist, I walked into every room and read every single piece of paper, and there was a piece of paper that said, "This is how you beat it. This is its weakness." And that's how I was able to get past where my brother was able to go.
Oh, this isn't the one we almost defeated. That was another one. Okay, ice does 75. Remember that. Now we gotta try fire. Gotta find out what is. This was one of the first video games ever to like have magic that. Well, I guess it's not very fair because there weren't a lot of video games before this that were RPGs, but. What was the ice one? I already forgot.
75.
Okay, yeah, it was higher. And now Thundara. And here's the spell that wipes us all out. Yeah. Almost wipes us all out. We're doing better this time, though. We're making progress. So I guess this is just you grind until you beat one of these guys, and then there you go. So Blizzard, we've decided, is the strongest. Yeah. And that's going to kill us. Bye, cruel world. And we're back in there. Oh, good times. Well, I'm going to go back to the village where I think the girl is. So there's a dancing girl. And she, I don't know what our relationship is, but she tells me things.
That was one of the fun outfits in Final Fantasy XI. You could be a dancer. It's one of the extra.
Yeah, that's one of the stranger classes that Final Fantasy has.
It's basically a bard, but you dance instead.
That's true. Never thought of it that way, but you're right. And I love bards, and only because everyone thinks they're useless, and usually in a lot of games they are. Like regular tabletop RPGs, but although the latest D&D has made that a little bit better.
I was considering being a bard in the new one. There's another group of neighborhood friends that do D&D, and we're on standby to possibly join their group. So that'd be like my third tabletop game.
Oh yeah, because you're playing the two with us.
Bard, yeah.
We play Iron Kingdoms and MERP. If you know what MERP is, you're awesome. But you probably don't. Middle Earth role-playing, old school. Okay, whoops, I was supposed to talk to the dancing girl. She's right here. I don't know what else to tell you. How about, what do you say? Okay, well, that wasn't very helpful. So, don't tell me, though. I'm going to consult the map. Just curious if it tells me, oh, you should go here type thing. What the heck's a life spring grotto? That's where I've been going, I believe. No? Let me see.
You've been going to the Earth Gift Shrine.
What the heck is the life spring grotto?
Maybe you should find out.
Oh, you know what? I know what that is. That's that little mermaid thing. Well, I'm going to get on my ship and I'm going to sail around because there's a lot of places I haven't been. And so, you can never go wrong by exploring in a Final Fantasy game, right? Because you always get to those islands where the monsters are like 10 times higher than level than you are, and you just get wiped out, and you're like, yep, I'm not supposed to go there. Which is basically how Zelda like blocks you in too, right? I mean, there are a couple places where you can't go.
They block you in with like physical obstacles that you can't get past unless you have a certain ability, which you get in the last dungeon you need to be at.
Right. But the newer one doesn't do that as much. You can go straight to the end and...
Wait, is she giving you the same kind of instruction like that,
yeah.
I don't know, dwarf guy did for
Yes.
that other place?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I'm
So-
like, these might be...
No, probably not. The extras.
Yeah.
The nice thing about like the Chrono Trigger remake was that the extras that they added were just like a separate part of the game. Like the main
They were
game was not
actually
affected.
extras.
Yeah, extras.
Okay, have I been to this village? Yeah, this is the dwarf village, I think. Or no, this is the... They'll probably have some clues about what I'm supposed to do, though. Thank you. So far, not very helpful.
Dwarves.
No, they're not dwarfs. I was wrong. Restore the crystals to grace. In the cave of the southern tip of this continent lives a man named Sada. He is a wise man who knows much. I already talked to Sada. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, have you done all of the crystals yet?
No.
You should find out which crystals have you done.
Yeah, that's a good point because I don't think I go in... That was like some kind of earth cave that I was in. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it
think
wasn't
it's
earth
part of
crystal.
the... Yeah, I already did the earth crystal.
Did you do the water crystal?
No.
I think if you did the water crystal, that mermaid place will open up.
I'm sure it would. So that's what's confusing me is I don't... Those ones are probably not part of the original main game. Those are probably extra things. And so it opened up after I beat the earth crystal. So I was like, oh, then that naturally has to be the next place I'm supposed to go. But I don't think it is.
No, not yet.
So let me...
So go find the water crystal.
I'm going to look at places I haven't been. I haven't been any of these places. I already know because I've cleared this game before that the airship is hidden there, but yeah.
That looks like a place.
Where am I? Right there. I'm going to sail over here. Because that looks like fun.
You should sing some sea shanties as you're sailing.
Yeah, it's funny though that like the whole sea shanty thing has become big again, but they don't sing any of the good ones. I mean, that one is okay, but like it's the only one that everyone sings. And it's not even really like a pirate one. It's like a whaling song.
Someone posted one of their favorite ones, and I recognized it because it was one that we sang.
Most of them come from Black Flag. Because
Oh, I
those
got that game.
those
Oh,
are
no.
actual shanties from like history. Like those guys are the Assassin's Creed guys. I can't remember what their company's called, but they're famous for like actually being real historical events, you know, within reason. There weren't assassins from time traveling assassins running around in history, but that we know of.
I got that one game. What's it called? Black Wake.
Not Black Flag.
No, Black Wake, which is the what do you call it? It's kind of one of those like multiplayer FPS sort of sailing one.
Oh yeah, is it?
Like
Does it do
simulator
VR?
one. I think it might.
I think I
bought
saw
it 'cause
the.
It was on, like on sale, but I never.
Yeah, I think I saw that on
Hey,
your
you own
Steam.
it.
Do I own it?
It says you own it.
Well, if it's the
Friends
one
say
I
you own this
think,
game.
if it's the one I think, then if it's the VR one, yeah, I've played it in VR and it's okay. It's not amazing. You say you haven't played it though.
No, I haven't. I just saw that it was on sale, and I'm like, oh, this looks fun.
That's how they get you, Daniela. Ray does that all the time. He'll just.
Well, I saw. Yeah, I guess their trailer made it look fun.
Well, I always look at like the, you know, it's like how many people like it or whatever, and
Well, it's got mostly positive and very positive, so.
yeah, and so you're like, well, it's on sale and it's mostly positive. I mean, just because I don't have time to play it and I have like 200 games to play doesn't mean I shouldn't buy it, right?
Well, I was buying it, I think, before you got it.
Yeah, it was on your wish list.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, if Lance decides to play it, maybe I should join his crew, sort of a thing.
Well, I guess I should go back and check it out then. I want to make sure it's the same game first. So I just discovered that there's another port up here. So I'm going to have to sell around and go back to this port because why not? Right? Luckily, all the overworld, it appears, is pretty easy on this. It doesn't have like harder overworlds ever since I got my ship. But that is the other unique thing about this game is there's lots of enemies like in the same encounter, which I really
Do you
like.
get that? Yeah. Do you get that like item where you can like walk without having to fight enemies just to like get through an area?
I don't know if they have that in here.
I
It'd probably
don't-
come in useful here in this game. And that's why, actually, better than that, as I like when they, like in Final Fantasy VI, they give you AP. And what AP does is it doesn't matter how strong the enemy is, they usually drop at least one. And you use it to level up your magic. So basically what it means is, even if you're fighting really low level enemies, it's still like, you still feel like you're progressing. You don't feel like you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
And this game does it okay. Like normally it sort of detects that you're a higher level, so it gives you more enemies to fight.
It's not fun for me.
It's not fun to watch.
Well, I wouldn't be happy with having to fight more enemies. I level up so that I have to fight less enemies,
Right.
or you know, get through the story faster.
So you don't enjoy the grind just for the grind like Tim does?
I enjoy the grind in order to enjoy the story. Like I work through the grind to
Oh,
let me be able to do the story without having to like worry about dying as much.
well now I don't know. I already know what this village is. This is Provoca. I've already been here. I just didn't realize it because I wasn't looping around the map. Alright. Well, that was a waste of time. Let me see if I can go up to this. I don't see a port there. No, I've never been to this. I gotta go over to this one. This is a new village to me. So, You know what?
That one.
Oh, I already know I can't go down. Maybe I can go down here. Or maybe I can sell my ship up this river. I'm going to try that. I love airships. I'm just going to throw that out there. And so Final Fantasy 1 was the first fantasy game basically to have an airship that I know of. Well, I mean, it was, I guess that's not fair because it was probably one of the first RPGs in general, yeah. But tabletop, have you ever played a tabletop game that had an airship?
I think.
I mean, airships are sort of uniquely Final
Spaceships?
Fantasy. Oh, like Chrono Trigger again?
No, well.
Or no, we're
well,
just
yeah,
talking
no,
about
that one has a
tabletops.
time
Yeah.
travel one, yeah. Tabletop, the Star Wars one. Spaceships.
Yeah, that doesn't count. I don't know if I can get to where I want to get. About to find out. Oh, I was going to try to go up the river, huh? I forgot what I was going to do.
So apparently Final Fantasy is not the first RPG on a console.
Well, I know Dragon Warrior was. At least one of the early ones.
Dragon Stomper.
Dragon Stomper?
On
Okay.
the Atari 600. In
Okay.
1982.
Yeah, this is not the right way to go where I'm trying to get to. 1982. I thought this came out. No, this came out. I've already forgotten. Did you know that they came out with a computer version of this early on?
Came out with in 87, by the way. I guess that's the year I was born.
Dragon Stomper did?
No, Final Fantasy.
Oh, nice.
I'm old. But
Not as old as I am. Yeah, I just got a saber. Too bad I don't need a saber. Okay, I don't think I've ever been to this port. So this is all, and I've never been to this village. So before we end the stream today, we should actually make some progress. Well, I leveled up a bunch. Yeah, these guys look harder.
And you learned what the Earth Shrine.
Yes, I learned my way around it just so I can forget by the by the time I ever go there again. So yeah, you should join us in our playthrough of Final Fantasy II next time. So what we're gonna do is Tim is gonna play it, and I'm gonna play it, and we're all gonna play it at the same time, basically. But we're only gonna, well, I mean, you guys can stream yours too, but I'm gonna stream mine. And we're supposed to play up to certain points, which we have to determine, and then talk about it, basically. Talk about our feelings. So if I were to say, hey, these are the Final Fantasies that you should play for sure, unfortunately 1 would not be one of them. Although I really do like it, I have to admit, it's a game that only appeals to certain people.
Well, that's a lot of enemies.
Yeah, see, it likes to dish them on sometimes. Luckily, usually you have spells that will kill them all with one blow. And that's interesting in this Final Fantasy too, is like normally it's your fighters that are OP in general, but in this one it seems like black mages are pretty OP.
Until you run out of magic.
Yes, that is the catch.
I think you're supposed to go south and around.
The map looked like I wasn't. Are you using the strategy guide?
No, I was trying to remember what your map looked like. 'Cause
Yeah, it
there's,
looked like
water in
it
the
looked
way.
like a dead end south. But I'll check again.
Oh, that's what those are. I've been playing the mobile version. Can't remember what it's called.
Oh, Final Fantasy Xvias or something like that.
Yeah. And one of my current quests is to defeat some of those.
Yeah, see if I go down here, it looks like it's a dead end in that river. This one. Oh yeah, the artwork in this though is touch and go. Sometimes it's good, other times it's like, oh man. You're
So
right,
that
Dari.
connects right there. Yep.
Oh, so you're saying I gotta come around here and then connect through
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go clockwise around.
you're right. You win this time. And I hate these anacondas because they poison me. And I don't like to be poisoned.
But anacondas aren't poisonous, are they?
Are they? I have no idea.
I don't think they are.
Don't they just
If
like
they-
wrap around you and kill you or something?
Yeah. I mean, sorry. Venomous.
Yes.
Poisonous is if you eat it.
No snakes are poison. Well, I don't know that.
Anacondas are not venomous. They just constrict. They're pretty, yeah, they choke things.
And aren't they? So aren't they basically like? But they're in the water, right? Like they
Yeah,
swim in the water.
They're
Like a
very
python in the
aquatic.
water.
Yeah, and fatter and usually bigger. Not longer than some pythons, but definitely like fatter or heavier. Thus the living in the water part. 'Cause you're lighter when you're in water.
Finally, we made it to this wonderful village. It looks different. I think it has blue roofs. I don't think the other buildings have blue roofs. It must be significant.
Blue roofs.
Maybe it's the
Water
water.
temple?
Yeah, water
Yeah,
temple.
look at all that water around there. The map must be the water temple.
The other funny thing about this Final Fantasy is it allows you to save anywhere. Whether you're in a dungeon or a town or... Doesn't matter. It doesn't care. Crescent Lake. Let's see how expensive the inn is. That's the first thing that's in... 200 gil? Man! Is this the most expensive? I think it is. But look how much gil I have.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. It's probably because I was grinding even though I wasn't trying to grind. And now I feel like I should buy a bunch of ethers.
You should buy a handful.
I always like to have a round number. 10 is good. And my 10s are fine. Phoenix Downs 10, see. There's that round number. And of course I always have like a million potions because I never use them. Although in the beginning of this game, like potions and items actually came in very handy. Yay, I can buy stuff that I already have. I don't have a mithril shield. There we go.
That's also one thing that I never really do. I usually never buy items at the armory or the weaponsmiths.
Well,
Because
a lot of the
you
Final
can
Fantasies
find
you can find them, yeah, and so it
Yeah,
sort of
so I
defeats the
never spend
purpose. Yeah, see, I'm the opposite.
money.
I like buy everything and then I find them and I'm like, well, that was a waste. But then you can sell them, so it's not terrible. For half the price. So yeah, that's stupid of me. Well, my thief just became more armored.
Nice.
And I think that's probably the chap. Oh, see, these are funny. Like, once in a while it tells you a video game character is buried here. Like, I found Link's gravestone. Sleeps all day. Yeah, the chapel. And that's the only place, well, in the original game, that's the only place you can get.
Can you play the organ?
Can I play the organ?
Well, in the chapel.
Oh, no, it won't let you get over to it.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, you play the organ, right, Daniela?
Yeah, yeah. And in Chrono Trigger, it's a trigger for one of the secrets.
Yeah.
Well, continuation in the story. It looks just like the one in the game.
Thundaga. Finally getting some strong spells again.
Oh yeah,
Level
you have to
6.
like buy them in here, don't you?
Yeah, Quake. I never use Death. Quake sounds good though. Try
It's got
Quake.
that. Is it? Yeah, instant.
And I never use Stun or Death. Instantly kills one foe. I'll probably have to get it. But of course it won't kill the foes you want to kill. Okay, Stona, Cure Stone, that's probably... Exit, there we go. I don't think I can get it though. Yeah, I see you have to be a white wizard, and right now I'm just a white mage. Do I have Stona? I don't think so. I've never actually been changed to stone. Better get it. You never know when it might come in helpful. And now I probably don't have enough money for my weapons. Oh, they're cheap.
As I say, you can sell your.
Dang, I
your
should have got the
weapons.
axe. I've got 2 of...
Don't forget to sell what you don't need.
So, I never sell what I don't need, and you know why? Because Final Fantasy VI... see, we all have Final Fantasy PTSD. we play a certain Final Fantasy that's like, oh, don't do this, don't do that, and then in every other Final Fantasy you're like that. Is this the way out? But one of the Final Fantasy PTSDs I have because of 6 is you get the ninja guy and he can throw weapons. So you have all these weapons that like you'd never sold, and they're really powerful.
Oh.
And so now I'm always paranoid that I'll get one of those characters that can, you know. And plus you get, and a lot of Final Fantasies, you pick up extra characters, right? And they can equip all the stuff that you don't have equipped. Okay. So he's some kind of shaman. Stars and Prophecy. Those are the 4 forces that compose everyone's world. Civilization in the north. I already got the Fiend of Earth. Okay, so I gotta come back here.
That desert place, the one for that one?
That desert place was in that cave though.
Or the one on the world map.
Oh. Well, this sounds... The volcano Mount Gold rises to the west of this town, so that's got to be the next place I go. Or at least that's where Crystal is. The fire. Take this canoe! Yay! I got a canoe.
You can go down up the rivers now.
So thank you, Dari. You set me on my path again. If it wasn't for that, I would have just ground until I actually got... Which might not have been a terrible thing, just not as fun. depending on how you look at it. Yay! Look at my little canoe. Let's see what the enemies are like in the water now. Crocodiles are new. And Achu.
That's like the first big kind of level boss you fight in Crystal Chronicles. That was good fun.
Yeah, I vaguely... They re-released Crystal Chronicles, I think for the Switch, didn't they?
Yeah,
Just
I
recently.
think they did.
But how will you play it without everybody having... I guess everybody has to
Switch.
have a Switch. Do you have a Switch?
I guess. No, I do not.
Oh, man. Because I know
Like I said,
Matt
I'm
does.
always behind a couple of... So do you play together like online, or do you have to play locally?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Because if you could do it online, I think that would be really fun. It'd
Yeah.
be like a pseudo MMO, but just your friends.
Yeah, we should...
I would totally try that if they ever did something like that.
You would buy a Switch if they did something like that?
Well, for Crystal Chronicles. I didn't buy the Switch for Breath of the Wild, but I would probably buy it for Crystal Chronicles.
Oh, did you play Breath of the Wild on the
The Wii U. Yeah.
yeah. The Wii U. Man, I bought a Wii U too. Sort of regret it. Switch is
I bought
way
it off
superior.
Of, Lieb, if you remember Lieb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought his, and it came with a bunch of games.
How much
so
did it cost?
I don't remember.
Yeah. But it was a
the
decent
games that
price.
it came with was worth it. Like, he had Twilight Princess, he had the Wind Waker HD on it, and
Wind Waker's fun. I like that one.
some of the Smash Brother games, like, just pretty decent.
Everyone
And, like,
loves.
I never had a Wii, so, you know, I skipped that one.
Oh, that was the ultimate console, man.
I don't know.
That's what brought Nintendo back from the brink. Was the
Yeah, I
Wii.
guess so. The GameCube was really good. They had a lot of good games on the GameCube. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it was fun.
it fell quickly behind the PlayStations and the Xboxes out there.
Well, we got about 8 minutes left. So do you have any final thoughts
Well,
of this
I guess
session?
as soon as I started extra paying attention to how you were playing, I guess I was able to give you pointers. Because yeah, at the beginning of just me talking, I was like, oh, I don't know what you're trying to do. I guess I should pay attention.
It looks like this river I gotta go up and around and down is what I'm thinking. You don't have to pay attention to this. It's Final Fantasy. It should be... Well, and it's interesting they added those extra levels. I don't think those were in the original game. But it does, like, sidetrack you and you're like...
Accidentally, if you don't know they aren't.
Yeah, because when it opened up, I was like, oh, well, then that must be the next place to go. Because, like, in games like this without a story, you just go wherever you can go, right?
Well, sort of a story.
I mean, it has a story,
Yeah.
but it's not like in a lot of Final Fantasy games, if you ever get lost, you just go back to the village and they tell you exactly where to go, right? Like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. And there's that pattern also with the Final Fantasies. Again, like
Yeah.
the elements thing, you're like, well, I gotta go to each shrine. Each element will have a shrine, and there will be a boss there.
Yeah, this is the first Final Fantasy to establish crystals. I wonder what, like, the history behind the obsession with crystals is.
I'm not sure either. But I will say there was a point in my, what do you call it? Creative writing where crystals were a thing too.
So, like, Final Fantasy crystals or just crystals in general?
Like crystals, like, oh, go collect these 5 things and then you can unlock this thing, and elements and just...
Well, it's in Star Wars, if you think about it. The Kyber crystals.
Yeah, but it's not like, hey, there's a Kyber crystal of fire, there's a Kyber crystal of water. There's a Kyber... Well, I mean, kind of, but not like an overarching, like, mythology based on that.
Right. Well, that's very like yin yang, you know, Taoism.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot I can. It's like apparently we're carrying our canoe around in our pocket. Because I was like, how am I supposed to get over there? Yeah, these are just regular overworld guys. Okay, so this is probably a good place to save. The beginning of Mount Gulag.
Wait, is that what it was called?
Oh, we still got
Oh,
5 minutes. Here, let me see what it says. Golg. And of course I should save in the beginning, because you always save in the beginning of a dungeon in Final Fantasy, right? Yeah, this Final Fantasy doesn't have any save points. You can save anywhere, but it doesn't have any, like, okay, I can heal up and get a tent. You just have to go to the overworld.
Sparkly things, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I should be using like Thundaga because it would kill more, but it's like almost double, but I guess it's only 10
like,
more.
The water one.
Oh, that's true, yeah, because we're in Lava World now.
Yeah. Maybe Blizzara will be effective.
I want to see if Thundaga will kill any enemies. If it can, then it's worth it. If it can't, then yeah. Yeah, see, it kills the... But we don't have any water spells. Maybe I'll try Blizzara, see if it... That makes sense. Ice in the lava world.
Well, water would beat the lava world, and lava would beat the ice world, so... But
I don't think there are any water spells in this. In a lot of Final Fantasies, there's not water spells. Which is interesting. What was I gonna do? Oh, he's poisoned. But, so you don't... As a completionist, you've never been like, oh, I should clear all the Final Fantasies.
no, that's a little too big. You probably shouldn't stand in the lava.
Well, at first I didn't know I could, but now, okay. But it looks like I have to at least a little bit to get where I'm going. How much energy does it take from me?
Check how much damage, yeah.
Not too much. I have no choice, Starry!
I'm sure there's like a way to like not
Cast float on all your guys. There's a Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
or
where you have to
something,
do
yeah.
that. Or where you can do
Or-
that.
or I don't know, part of me is now thinking like Breath of the Wild cast the like water or ice thing and create
Oh, yeah.
spaces.
And that's the thing is like you'll get in these puzzles where you'll think, well, this has got to be the answer. This has got to be how you do it, and it makes sense like logically, but it's not the answer to the game puzzle, and that is so frustrating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where you complete it like a completely different way than the game makers intended you to.
Or you can't complete it because you're just thinking that you get, you know, railroaded into thinking a solution is a solution when it's not. And Final Fantasies are infamous, at least for me, for that. Because you gotta understand, like, when we were younger, I don't know if you played Final Fantasy when you were younger, but when we were younger, we didn't have the internet, so you couldn't just, like, go and find the answers to things.
No, I mean, that's how it was when I played Chrono Trigger. We didn't have internet.
Yeah.
We didn't have any books or guides.
I mean, you
which is
could
why
buy
I got that,
guides.
like, yeah, but like, I was in elementary school, like junior
Yeah.
high, like, I didn't
If your
know the
parents had
concept.
money.
If my parents had money. And when we had it, it was like, I mean, the 64 was out and the GameCube was like gearing up to come out, and that's when I was playing. So like, no one was selling like Super Nintendo game guides anymore.
No.
They're all focused on the newer consoles.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's where that whole like completionist kind of came into play, because like I had to check every room. I had to like
Did you
open every door just to like figure out what to do.
did you make your own maps too?
Yeah, actually, especially some of those like maze ones, you'd have to like go left and then right and then right and then left and then up, down.
Yeah, those were the good old days when me and Tim always joke about graph paper, but you had to have like graph paper to like beat a lot of games. So anyway, that's our episode. I believe it's 6, or we're on 6 or 7. I can't remember. I think it says on it. Final Fantasy episode 7. Thanks, Dari, for joining in, and I'll see you guys on Monday for episode 8, which will only be an hour. So you stuck with me all 2 hours, Dari. Good job. Any final words?
It's fun.
All right. Hopefully Dario will join us some other time. See you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, and subscribe.